Hi, I'm Ken Bingham. Welcome back. Last time we reframed everything. AI simulates and you steer it with vision and values. Today we open the hood because the thing doing that simulating has a name. And once you understand what it is, you stop treating it like magic and start treating it like machinery you can actually control. And once you know the engine, we go one step further to what happens when that engine grows hands and starts to act on its own. The leap from a model to an agent. The thing under the hood is a model. It is not the app, the chat window, or the brand name. The model is the engine, and a model is simpler than it sounds. It is the giant pattern predictor trained on a mountain of text and tuned in because it's astonishingly good at it. That is the whole engine. Here's the one fact that changes everything. A model is frozen pattern plus live guessing. It learned to cut off the date and then it stopped. It does not update itself. It does not learn from last night's news. And it does not quietly absorb your conversations. It is the brilliant stranger in a library with no clock, and you are the one who hands it the next page. This is why it can feel both incredibly smart and strangely outdated. It is not alive and it is not learning. It is simulating from the patterns it already holds. There is one other thing about AI. There are many models like engines, some large, deep, and capable, but slow, expensive, and heavy. Others are small, fast, and cheap, and they can run right on your laptop or even your phone. And here's the part most people miss: you do not reach for the biggest model every time. A quick rewrite does not need a heavy weight, but a complex chain of reasoning might. A private document might call for a model that never leaves your machine, and a long creative exploration, and the higher temperature ceiling. You match the engine to the job. You would not haul groceries in a race car, and you would not run a marathon on a dump truck. And this matters for privacy. A small model running locally means nothing leaves the building, private by default. For many businesses, that alone is worth more than raw power. AI architects know this. Most users do not. But after today, you will. Now for the part that surprises almost everyone, even people who work in the field. A model has no table of facts inside it. It does not store Paris is the capital of France in a little drawer, and there is no internal encyclopedia. So, how does it know anything? It's all geometry. Every word, every concept, every idea is a point in a vast mathematical space, and the directives between those points, the angles, the distances, carry the meaning. Here's the example that made it click for me. Take the point for king, substance, man, and add woman. You land almost exactly on queen. That is not a trick, that is the geometry of meaning. The model does not memorize the fact, it discovers it in the shape of the space. This is why models can generalize. It's why they can answer questions they were never explicitly trained on, and why they can translate, reason, analogize, and improvise. They are not retrieving facts, they are navigating geometry. When I say the model sees, I mean it sees the geometry. the directions, and the distances, not with eyes and not with consciousness. The shape is real and the shape is enough. Now we need to clear up one of the biggest misconceptions about AI. People hear that a model was trained on the text and images it copied from text. They picture it storing paragraphs, memorizing articles, and keeping a secret stash of books inside itself. That is not training. That technology and is mathematical. And here's the part that matters most. When you ask it something, it does not pull it up someone else's article and paste it. It does not have the articles. It generates a fresh answer every time from the patterns it learns. The legal side is still being fought and in the courts, but the copy machine picture is already the wrong one. Training is learning from information about information, not the information itself. Think of it this way: reading a manual is not the same as taking the product home. Studying a recipe is not the same as stealing the meal. Breaking down a sentence is not copying it. It is learning grammar, rhythm, and syntax, the rules beneath the surface. A model does the same thing. It does not keep the text in a drawer. It extracts the patterns. It learns how language behaves, how it relates, how to cluster and give meaning and stretch across context. It's not transcribing the model. During training, the model's not learning facts. It's learning the shape of how the facts tend to be expressed. It is learning the geometry of meaning. The model does not remember the world. It remembers the shape of the world. And that shape is what it uses to simulate. A model on its own can only do one thing: it reads what you give it and it talks back. Brilliant, but trapped in the chat. It cannot open a file, run a search, or send an email. It is a genius with no hands. An agent is what you get when you give that genius hands. An agent is a model plus tools, plus a loop that the tools in the hands do for a web search or a calculator or files. And the loop is what lets it act, looks at what's happened, and decides what to do next. And here's the part the field knows but almost never says out loud. An agent is not a smarter brain. It is the same model run in a loop. Think, act, observe, adapt, and repeat until the job is done. The intelligence is not the model. The agency that puts the plumbing around it. That one distinction changes how you use it. A model answers a question. An agent carries out a task. Ask a model how to clean up your spreadsheet, and it tells you. Hand an agent the tools, and it actually does it, checking its own work as it goes. But but the hands cut both ways. An agent that can act can also act wrongly, faster at scale. So you give it the least power it needs. You fence it with both boundaries and you keep a human on the loop for anything hard to undo. More reach always means more responsibility. You picked your engine. How do you steer it? With a directive. A directive is a standing instruction for the model up front, and it sets the role, the boundaries, and the values before you ask a single question. Be careful, cite your sources, stay in the lane, sound like tell it to never guess, and always check. Last time you directed it with words. This time you write these words down once and they hold. This is where the partnership becomes real. The model brings the reach and you bring the direction, the engine and your hands on the wheel. And here is the deeper truth. Two people can sit down with the same model and walk away with completely different results. Same engine, different driver. A clear person gets to be careful, and a chaotic person gets chaotic ones. Looking back at you, the glass is usually not the problem when you're looking at it. Pick the right engine. Know that it's frozen patterns plus live geometry. Steer it with directives that set the role, the values, and the boundaries. Most people were handed one engine and told that it's AI. You just open the hood. From here, you choose and you steer. That's what is under the hood. Next time, we'll look at how the engine actually reads in little pieces called tokens and why that drives both the cost and the quirks. If this if you like this video, please give it to someone to share. A new video drops every day. Thank you for watching. I'm Ken Bingham.